Hello and welcome to another online class with Shiro Kashi Aikido. This is the third in a series of videos looking at the 31 count kata. In today's class we'll look at the final section, moves 19 through 31. But before we do, let's take a quick look back at the previous sections. And now here's a quick preview of the moves we're going to learn. So we begin the final section from Ski no Kamae. Move 19 is a thrust to the knee. So you can see I'm angling my body slightly, moving forward but remaining in left hand me, and making a thrust to the knee. It's important that the jo stays in line with the body. So when I'm thrusting down at an angle, my body angles down towards the thrust. What I don't want to do is thrust in a horizontal position and then dip the end down towards the knee at the end. This will have no power at all. I also don't want to maintain my upright stance and just ski straight down at the knee. So I angle my body, aim at the knee, and then make a straight thrust straight through. Here I'm going to over-exaggerate the lean so you can see how the jo moves with the hips and allows me to make a forward thrust. And adding move 20, which is an overhead strike to the knee. So from the low angle of the ski, the jo should still end up with my left hand in the center of the jo, so it's easy to raise and it's balanced well. I don't just raise with one hand though, my right hand slides to my left hand so I can raise with both hands here. I can see through my arms at the position where I'm going to strike, rotate the jo behind me, and then step forward with my right foot and strike down at the side of the knee. And if we see it from the front, you'll see the angles better. So we have the ski, see a nicely balanced jo as it gets raised. It rotates like the helicopter blade around my head. Take the ends of the jo so I can step forward into right hand me and strike the knee. Move 21 puts the jo into Geidan position, the lower position, as I crouch down. So as I draw the jo back, I bring my back foot up to my front foot and crouch. Draw the jo back to my hands at the end of the jo, bring my left foot to my right foot, I'm up on my toes, my heels off the floor, and I slide the jo back into Geidan. You see me draw the jo behind me, so as I crouch, the jo is now hidden, as it would be if you were standing up in a normal Geidan position. So I'll show you the footwork a little bit closer. So quite often when you're inside training, you'll actually go down on your knee, and this is quite correct, this is fine. But when you're outside, it's more usual to have a crouching position where you just tuck your toes underneath. This makes it a lot quicker to come up. It also keeps your knee of your hakama or your gi clean as well. So drop down, bring your foot up and just crouch. Move 22 is a high ski or a high thrust. So from the crouch position, we stand up, draw the jo up the body, step forward with the left foot and make a high thrust. This is where having the toes bent under really helps you come up quickly into the next move. From this angle, you'll see how closely the jo stays to my body as I raise. I was pulling it back, and then when I'm in the correct position, I'm able to fire it forward into the thrust. Draw it right up to my left hand's at the end of the jo, just before I start to make my thrust, and it slides through into the finish position. And here you'll see the finish position. The jo's gone past my head, so there's no chance, even if it got knocked, that my head wouldn't get hit with it. Here we're going to do it wrong. So if I don't thrust far enough through and I got hit on the jo's going to hit me in the side of the face. This is not safe. Move 23 is a block where the jo is turned over and returns to the ski no kamae position. So from the high thrust, my right hand reaches past my left hand to turn the jo over and just slide back slightly into ski no kamae. The block goes across my body, so that if there's any thrust coming towards me, I would hit it. It's not coming straight down on the line. I'm also not doing all the work with my left hand and just letting it spin and then catch it. This is incorrect. My right hand reaches past, but I keep my shoulder back. If I start turning my body so I'm straight onto the camera, then like this, then I'll become a wider target. So I'll make a small target by keeping my shoulder back, reaching forward, turning the jo, and then using the hips to draw it back. So here's the whole sequence so far. And now adding move 24. Move 24 is a forward thrust. So after the high ski and the turn and the block back to ski no kamae, we make a thrust, but then we draw the right foot up. So the feet become together. So step forward your left foot. As you're finishing the thrust, draw your right foot to your left foot. Move 25 is a second ski. So 24 and 25 are both thrusts. And this is where bringing the feet together at the end of the previous move will push you into the next thrust. So the feet come together and then go apart for the second thrust. So left foot, right foot to left foot, and then your left foot again goes forward. And we can practice this without the jo. So step, together, step. Thrust. And that stepping together allows you to draw the jo so that the move on 25 becomes more fluid. Move 26 takes the jo back into the geidan position. So we draw the jo back and we slide back, remaining in left hand into geidan. So pull the jo through with your right hand until your left hand is at the end of the jo, then swap the grip so that your right hand becomes loose and you can get into the correct position with your left hand on your shoulder and your right hand on your hip. You can see again there as I draw the jo back into geidan, the jo is now hidden behind me. As I make the geidan, I slide back a fraction. In move 27, I step back and use the lower end of the jo to block. So from the Geidan, I take a backwards geisha step into right hand me. So when I finish, it looks like I've done a Geidan geisha move, but I've actually stepped back. To make the move, I open my back foot, I pivot on my toes, and step back into the gap I've created. So I open my foot, step back, and then close it, drawing my right foot across as the Jo comes in front of me. I go back and bring the Jo in front of me to block a strike coming towards my lower leg. And now we'll move on to move 28. In move 28, we make a high thrust. This time we're in right hand me. So from Geidan Geish, we just raise the Jo, stay in right hand me, and make a high thrust, a high ski. So just raise the Jo, draw the Jo to the end so that my front hand, my right hand is at the end of the Jo before I fire it into the final thrust. And again, I make sure that the finish position is past my face, so I'm safe. And moving on to move 29. Move 29 is another parry or block where the Jo is turned end over end, drawing the body back into ski no kamae. This time on the opposite side of the body to the block we saw earlier on. So here's the turnover and the drawback, and we end up in right hand me. So you'll see the same moves happening just on the opposite side of the body. And when we look from the camera angle straight on, we'll see that the Jo, as it makes the parry, crosses across the body, draws back into ski no kamae as I slide back slightly in my posture. I don't just let the Jo turn over. Don't do all the work with my front hand, my right hand. Okay, this is incorrect. I'm also not going to lean forward, making that big wide target I discussed earlier on. I'm going to keep my shoulder back, reach forward, draw the Jo over into the block, and use the hips to draw it back in a slight spiraling motion back into ski no kamae. And we should see this at the end of this set piece. The hips will really whip the Jo back. Here it comes, back into ski no kamae there. Move 30, we're getting towards the end of the kata now, and move 30 is the final ski of the move. So we're just drawing it back into ski no kamae with our right foot forward, and we're going to commit a ski, keeping the right foot forward. So after we turn over to ski no kamae here, we just make a forward thrust, nice and simple. So from the high thrust and turnover back into ski no kamae, you can see the foot moves backwards as we move into ski no kamae, and we go forward again as we commit the thrust. So both feet moving forward into a nice straight thrust. And now we've reached the final move in the kata, move 31. Following on from the ski in right hand me, we're going to raise the Jo above the head and make a high guy strike, stepping forward into left hand me. So we return back to the end of the ski. The Jo goes high above the head and turns right above the head. As you raise the Jo tilts to the right, and your front foot, your right foot, also opens at the same time. It makes it easy for the body to step forward into left hand me as you step forward and strike. So there's an opening there, step forward and make the strike to finish. And now watch the whole of the sequence from 19 through to 31, so you can see how the whole of this little mini kata comes together. I'll watch these a couple of times. And finally, we'll see the whole 31 kata, including the counting. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, roku, sichi, hach, ku, ju, juich, juni, jusan, jushi, jugo, juroku, jusich, juhachi, juku, niju, nijuich, nijuni, nijusan, nijushi, nijugo, nijuroku, nijusich, nijuhach, nijuku, sanju, sanjuich. By practicing the individual moves and mini kata shown in this and the previous two videos, you'll soon be able to put together the whole kata. That's the end of this video. I look forward to seeing you next time.